Okay, I wanted to make a quick video here to explain the process around making these tire deflators a little bit better. The first thing you want to do is you want to take your cap, and with your 1/16 inch drill bit you're going to drill a hole through the backside face of the cap. And the reason you want to do that is if you drill it from the inside to the outside, even though there is a little kind of a indentation inside the cap for that the bit fits nicely in, usually when the hole comes out it's not centered, and I'll explain here in a little bit why it's important that it's centered. But after you drill your starter hole with your 1/16 inch bit, you can go ahead and recenter the hole with the 5/64 bit. Now generally you want to try and get this as close to centered as you can on the first drill, because there's not a whole lot of adjustment you can make with the 5/64 bit. Once you've got that hole drilled with the 5/64 bit, you're going to take your inflator needle and you're going to stick it through the back side of the cap all the way to the front. Okay, so it actually looks like this. You can see how it goes all the way in, comes out the front. Now here's where the problem is if the hole isn't centered. Because this needle's inside here, the whole idea of the needle being in here is to depress the stem inside the valve of the tire. So if it's not centered, when you rotate this onto the valve, it actually will slip off the stem and you will have to back it out and try again. If it's centered, you won't have any problem with this, and you can just screw it straight on and it'll deflate, no problem, no big deal. Once you have this pushed in like this, what you're going to do is you're going to mark where it is on the edge of the cap. So like if you're looking at it like this, you're going to mark it right where it exits the cap. Now you're going to pull this back out and you're going to trim this down a little bit further than where you just marked, a little bit closer to the base of the inflator needle. Okay, now the reason is that you want to be able to try and thread this cap on the valve before it actually starts to depress the stem. That way you can tighten it down however much you need to, and it's going to be just fine. You don't want it to exit. So once you have that done, you're going to go ahead and you're going to put that back in there and just double check and look at it from the front, make sure it's centered in there, everything's good to go. Once it's good, pull it back out again. Okay, and the next thing I did was I roughed up this backside surface, the surface you drilled through for the first time. Okay, the reasoning for that is so that the JB Weld has something a little bit better to adhere to. I just used a cutting disc, the edge of a cutting disc on a Dremel tool to go ahead and rough that up a bit. Then now you can see on the side of this in the light, you can see where it has the little lines, where it's not gnarled. Now what you're going to do is what I did, so to say, is in the top two little grooves here, I used my Dremel tool and I made notches, just a place that was flat, because it's very, very difficult to drill on a round surface, as you probably know. And I made two of those in four places, 180 degrees from each other all the way around. Okay, so I gave myself a place to have 8 holes in the outside, 4 on each ring. Okay. I went ahead and I drilled all those holes individually with my 1/16 inch drill bit. And if you have a drill press, you can actually just drill all the way straight through, because you'll have a straight hole. Mine weren't straight when I tried to do that because I don't have a press, so I drilled them all individually. And then basically just make sure that you don't have any kind of aluminum or any shavings or anything anywhere in the threads or any of that. Once you've done all that drilling and everything, you are completely done with this. The only thing left you have to do is put it together and let it dry. So once you're done with all that, you're going to take your needle that's already trimmed, okay, and you're going to push it back through, okay, but you're not going to push it all the way down. What you want to do is you want to take your JB Weld now, and you want to, or actually, I take that back. Here's what I did, is I actually coated the top with JB Weld. Okay, nice thick coat, probably about 1/8 of an inch, just so I was sure there was going to be plenty on there. Then I took my needle and I stuck it through the JB Weld, through the hole on there. Now, don't worry about getting JB Weld on the end of the needle. It's not going to matter. Okay, once you use it the first time, it's going to press itself in, and it's going to be fine. Then just go ahead and push it completely on there, very, very straight. Okay, and then just take off any of the JB Weld that squeezes out around the edge. After you've done that, all you have to do is let it dry. It is completely finished. Okay, when you screw that on there, the stem is going to, or the needle is going to depress the stem, and the air is going to be able to escape through the cap out the holes that you drilled on the side. Okay, very, very simple idea, very easy to make. If you make them correctly, the first one will probably take you about 10 minutes to make, knowing the exact instructions that you have to do. Subsequent ones after that will probably only take you about 2 or 3 minutes, just because you know exactly what you're doing. So hopefully that's a little bit better explanation for you. If there's anything else I can answer for you, feel free to ask.